Hey, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day. How everybody doing out there? Thank you for joining me. I'm trying this new segment, and the segment is teach me how to hustle. See, a lot of times when people hear that terminology, they hear that word, they think of a dirty word. They think about illegal activity, selling drugs or selling stolen goods. But no, it's not about that. The bottom line is right now, I got the lovely money making Mona. And once again, right now is I want you to give me a breakdown of who you are, I'm saying, how do you get started and what give you that desire to make you want to hustle?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa, Money Making Mona, the owner of the Lash Cafe located in Lexington, South Carolina. I'm a six-figure owner of a lash business that I run solely by myself. I'm in the process of trying to build out a team now after being in business for 3 years. Um, my main my main thing every day is lashes, brows, waxing. That's what I do every day. I got started a few years ago, back in 2018. I took a few classes out in Florida to learn how to do lashes. It wasn't a hit for me when I first started, so I threw it aside and I continued with my other side hustle, which was doing hair. While I was in school for cosmetology, I was a braider on the side. Um, I relocated, and when did I relocate? I relocated in July of 2018 from Charleston, South Carolina to Columbia, South Carolina. And when I moved to Columbia, I decided to do lashes full time. I had a hospice job that I was working. When I moved to Columbia, they offered me a transfer to another location here in Columbia. Once I bought my property here in Columbia, they they took the transfer back. So they said that they weren't going to give me a transfer again. So it was like I had to make a decision: either drive to Charleston every day for work or let the job go and figure it out. So I moved in July. I drove back and forth to Charleston until October because I still was in cosmetology school. I quit the job in September. I quit the job in September because they weren't trying to work with me. So I quit the job in September. I still drove back and forth to Charleston every day for school, Monday through Friday, and some Saturdays, just so that I could graduate on time. I graduated in October of 2018, and then I started working for another lash company in Columbia. When I got to Columbia, I started working for this lady part time doing lashes at her salon. Um, I stayed with her for probably about 2 months, and it was a good experience, but it was a horrible experience. Like she was never around. You could never get paid on time. So it was like, all right. In my mind, I'm like, I'm not here for all these shenanigans. I'm just here to build out a portfolio. Right now, I just need some pictures of my work so that I can produce, my own business, or come up with a strategy to create my own build my own clientele. So I took a lot of pictures at her salon. I would post my work on a separate Instagram of my own, not her business Instagram. I let her job go in December at the end of the year, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start my own business. I'm gonna do this on my own. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. That was in January. So I was
But
like,
let me
all
ask,
right, January.
let
In
me let me ask
January, I was like, all right, I got this. I got to figure out a way to build a clientele.
you.
And from there, I just kind of started creating different strategies.
But even with that being said, like look what you say, traveling back and forth from Columbia to Charleston. What that was for school?
Hmm.
And
That
to
was for
me,
school. That was for work and school.
and how long did you do that?
So I did that from July until October. And that was
Okay,
that was like 60 miles going, 60 miles coming back every day.
you don't gotta tell me. Hey, look, You don't gotta tell me. But what I'm saying is this, like, even with that, sometimes being exhausted, sometimes don't feel like doing it. Like, what gave you that
Correct.
motivation? What pushed you to the maximum? Like, you know what, regardless of what, you going all the way. You was gonna give up. Because a lot of people will quit.
So my push was my children.
Okay.
I knew I wanted like a freedom of some sort. And I knew that if I stuck with it and I got my license with school, that I was setting myself up for something better, that I wouldn't have to always depend on being the employee of someone else. So my children was my main push. Like that was something I wasn't going to let them down because they sacrificed with me for so long. So it didn't make sense to give up at the end when I was just like I was there.
Okay. And see, those are things that people need to hear because once again, without no test, you don't have no testimony. I'm gonna say it again. Without no test, you don't have no testimony. But yet and still,
Absolutely.
with all that you went through, what gave you the desire or what gave you the mindset, the ability to think that you can go out there? Like, you know what? I want to be a businesswoman. I want to go out there. I want to create my own income. Like, you can give a company 40 hours. What made you felt like you could give yourself 40 hours or more?
I've always had the mind frame of I can't work for somebody else. Like I've always been what is it? Resilient to being the employee. Like I've
Mhm.
always had the mind frame of I can do this by myself. Like I'm not a good employee. I'm very rebellious when it comes to taking orders and somebody telling me what to do. So I've never done good with just being an employee. I've never been in a comfortable place to just say, okay, I'm gonna be the employee. I'm gonna work 40 hours a week. I'm gonna go home and come back tomorrow and just be satisfied with the little bit that they was giving me. I always wanted more for myself.
And
And I was always willing to go the extra mile for me. If I give them 40, I give myself 45 hours a week.
talk, girl, talk. I like that. I like that because once again, when you sit back and you look at that, and I like that. Okay, you know what? Where do you get that hustling mentality from? Like, where did that drive came from?
I think it came from watching my mom struggle as a single parent.
Okay,
I've been working since I was 15 years old. I'm
okay,
37. So from being with my mom and her not being able to do, everything for you. I grew up in New York. I'm from New York. My mom wasn't able to do a lot for us as far as keep us in the latest fashion and buy us everything we wanted and travel. Those are the things that I always tell myself my children won't ever lack because I know what it's like to be that teenager and you can't do much or you can't, your head can't be done a certain style because your mom can't afford it. I know what that's like. So I've always told myself when I had children that my children won't have those days. Not unless they being punished or disciplined,
okay,
I wouldn't reward them for things that they don't deserve. But
okay.
when it came to like a everyday struggle, I knew that that wasn't something I was gonna allow my children to see. And early on, we did struggle. When I had to pick myself back up off the ground and figure out another way, we did struggle. So my oldest daughter did see that part, but it was I knew and I promised myself and I promised my children that it wouldn't last long. So I knew when I got my back up off the wall, that was a place that I wasn't going back to.
And you know what? Like I told you, like right now, our connection, New York, our connection is, saying South Carolina. And to me, like right now, even with that being said, like even I can identify with you. Whereas like I got into a world of trouble because I want the fly clothes. I wanted, the name brand sneakers, footwear, the clothes, the jewelry, everything. So growing up in New York, it's like that biggest melting pot of the world, but it's like fashion industry, light camera action. Everybody's like actors and activists. So we got to play a part where if you look good, you
Exactly.
feel good, you do good. So even right now, whereas like I wanted to get a job, but they telling me my mother make too much that oh, we live in a project. How the heck my mother make too much? I can't get a job.
Yep.
But here it is. Guess what? I go out there, get caught up into that infamous follow leader game, and get caught up into that street lifestyle, want to hustle, rob, steal, sell drugs, but not knowing, guess what? It's other ways to hustle. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what this platform is all about. And this what we starting is like we're gonna start a beautiful thing. Whereas letting these folks know that you don't have to do illegal activity to survive. Look at what you're saying. You went and got a job. Besides a job, you went and do other things. You went back and forth, driving 60 miles this way, 60 miles that way, sometimes 5 to 6 days a week, making sacrifice. That's what this is all about. And look at you at right now. Even when I me and you had that heart to heart conversation, and you was telling me about the Lash Cafe. Tell me about that. Tell me like right now, it's like now you look at what you did. You don't put it in. Look what you got it. Look what you accomplished. How did that came about? You there? Hello, hello, freeze. I think we froze. But
Yes.
once again, tell she you back. Are you back? Mona, are you back? You back now? You back? Are you back?
It was like
Mona, we going in and out. We going in and out. Mona, um, even as I wait for Mona to come back, it's like some of the things that she was telling me in regards to like when she opened up shop and how she got everything going off the ground. It's like I'm talking about unbelievable story. You talk about sacrifice. You talk about the things that she had to do. I'm talking about even open up her own little boutique. That's what it's all about. She never gave up. She never gave up. You back?
yeah. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with the connection.
Yeah. So even right now, we're talking about you and the Lash Cafe and how that came about. I hate it. Hello.
A
You back?
cafe, and then you can hear me.
Now I can. I can hear you
I
now.
don't know why. You can hear me now, good.
I can hear you good.
Okay. I don't know where the I don't even remember where I got the name for the Lash Cafe, but how I got started on my own was I created my own Instagram using the pictures from my work, and in my mind I was like, I all right, I got the Instagram, I got the Facebook, but now I gotta figure out a way to draw people to me. I gotta figure out a way to get myself out there. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm starting a business in Colombia. So I'm sitting here in Colombia. And I'm sitting in my car, and in my mind it's like Groupon. And I was like, Groupon. And it was like God was saying go to Groupon. So I was like, all right, let me figure out how to get advertised on Groupon. So I start looking up Groupon. I start calling Groupon, like, how can I post a deal on Groupon? And the young lady told me, she was like, you have to become a merchant. You have to become a merchant on Groupon.
Please, I think we hit another snag. You there?
So you have to
I think we hit another. You there?
have all your business information to. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. They saying we going in and out. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Hey, look, I don't know what happened with my connection, but right now is with Money Making Mona. Like what I love about her story is the fact that how she started and how she got going. Whereas like within a month time, by her using the Groupon, she made $30,000. So sit back and think about it. You're able to make $30,000 off of eyelashes. That's hustling. That's like right now, where it's like when you go out there and you apply yourself, that's unbelievable. This woman made in 1 month $30,000 in eyelashes. So once again, it's like teach me how to hustle. That's what this is all about. Like teach me how to hustle, bringing different people on the platform and letting you know it doesn't matter. You can have a 9 to 5, but if you're gonna give a company 40 hours of your time, you got to be able to give yourself 40 hours of your time. I met this gentleman today and he was going to barbering school. And I told him, I said, look, man, as you going to barbering school, what you need to do is get into that eyelash business because it's big, big business. And the difference right now is, guess what? I don't care if I can make $10,000, $5,000 a month doing lashes. You know what? I'd be right in there. I have a little fly, little shop, a little boutique, serving a little champagne, a little wine. You got
Okay, I'm back. I think.
Yeah. So I was just telling them right now was like some of the things we was talking about the Groupon, and right now I was just telling them about your accomplishment, how you went from saying like putting that out there and how you made like 30,000 in a month, and I was just impressed. I was amazed because once again, go ahead, you got the floor now.
So anyway, I created a Groupon. I figured out how to become a merchant on Groupon, and I created an ad on Groupon for like two different services at the time that I was pretty good. Um, I launched the Groupon on February the 11th, and in 30 days, the Groupon had sold over 100 vouchers, and it made over 30K. So
Hats off,
that was
Queen.
my way of starting. That's how I got out there. That's how people became familiar with me. That's how I became familiar with Columbia. And it was so good because I had people reaching out to me that weren't even buying the vouchers, but they heard word of mouth that I was the new lash girl in town and my work was good and I had great customer service. So it worked out for me. I had the Gamecocks, a recruiter from the Gamecocks reach out to me just to post my ad in the Gamecocks calendar. So it was just people reaching out to me word of mouth because I was a female in business. I was new to the area and they just heard great things about me from people that had come to me to get a service done.
Mhm.
So that's how I got started. That's how I got started here in Columbia. I started out in a small salon for about 2 weeks. I knew that the location wasn't a great location and I needed to be somewhere that my customers would be comfortable. So within a 2 week time period, I wound up finding a suite. And at the time, what he wanted for the suite, it was a steal. Like I got a
Okay.
suite for 350.
Okay.
So it was like, I can pay this. You know what I mean? Like in a month, I got 30 days to make 350. If I don't make nothing else, I can make 350 to pay this. So
Okay.
I was like, all right, bet. I took the suite and I stayed in that suite from, I want to say from like March all the way straight through November. And then at the end of November, I felt everybody kept saying, you need another location. You need to be more visible. So I was like, all right. I started looking around again. Like, I need another location. I need to be visible. So that's when I relocated from like the Blythewood area of Columbia to Two Notch Road, Columbia. And I got a suite over there on Two Notch Road. And that was in December of 2019. And in in what? March of 2020, everything shut down.
Yeah. Pandemic.
Everything shut down. So I'm locked into a contract for a year with the new location. But in my mind, I'm like, when this pandemic is over, I'm going hard. Like I'm doing everything that my license allows me to do. Like I'm a cosmetologist. I could do everything in this industry. I don't have to hold myself to one thing. I'm able to do hair, skin, and nails if I really want to. So while we in pandemic, I'm still working. I'm still working hospice. Now, right before the pandemic hit, I tried to quit my hospice job. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. It's not working. I'm making money doing lashes. Now, I wasn't even making that much money, but I was making money. And it felt good to make money and not have to worry about, anything, nobody overlooking me or, not enough hours. So you got to go home early today. It was none of that. So I tried to quit the job, and the HR lady, she rejected my resignation letter. She was like, I can't accept that from you right now. I'm sorry. So I'm like, you sorry? What do you mean? I was like, well, I want to work my business full time. So she was like, all right, so here's what we can do for you. You can work for us part time on the weekends, and then you can work your business full time Monday through Friday. So I was like, all right, I'll take that. So like I said, the pandemic hit in March. Now I tried to quit the job in December. So like 2 months later, I gotta rely solely back on my job because I don't got no side hustle money. So I'm like, all right, God, when you're ready for me to leave this job, you're gonna make a way for me to leave this job. I'm gonna just stick it out. So I worked hospice every day during the pandemic to be able to provide for my children. And then something went off in my head again, like go bigger. You need something bigger. The suite you got is not big enough for everything that you want to do. You need something bigger. You need some more space. So I'm riding to go see a patient one morning, and I'm playing with my phone in the car, and something said, look to your left. When I look to the left, I'm in Lexington. So it's a big sign in the window that says for rent. It's a storefront. So I'm like, nah, this can't be possible. So I'm like, all right, when I come back through here, I'm going to swing by and get the number and contact the landlord. So when I reach out to the landlord, he's like, oh, yeah, I have 2 locations. So what he wanted for the one in the front was out of my budget. It was out of my range. And like I said, we in a pandemic, so I didn't want to bite off more than I could chew. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to do too much. It's just me. So I was like, all right, I can't afford the one in the front. Can I see the other location that you had? So the other location he had was right in the back of his building. So he was like, sure. So we walk around the back to look at the location in the back. As soon as he opened the door, I was like, this it. This me.
You knew.
This right. It was
You
like,
knew.
this me. It was like, I think I got like what, 1,900 square feet. So I was like, all right, this it. This me. Mind you, it's a pandemic. So he's like, okay, cool. And I'm still in a contract with the salon suite.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna move accordingly. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm gonna just wait and see what happens. Lo and behold, they lift the shutdown, so we get to go back and open up our businesses. So I'm still at the salon suite, but now I got to figure out a way to get out this lease because I'm starting my own lease come July with the new location. I reach out to the owner of the salon suites, and I'm like, hey, I found me another location. I appreciate everything you've done for me. I just need something bigger. I need more space. Is there any way I can come out the lease? So she was like, well, let me reach out to some other people that have been on the waiting list for a spot. Back out to me, and she was like, I found a girl. She said that she was subleased from you, but you are responsible for the rent if she can't pay it. It has to come through you every week. So I was like, all right, bet. So every week I would pay the booth rent, not knowing if she gonna come through or not. I'm gonna just pay it. And if she come through a Hutton, I just I get my money back. Just she wound up taking over my lease over at the November. So I survived that, and now I have my own location. So in July, I started like a build out. I had to do a whole build out in my salon. No loans, Nobody helped me. I had a janky contract that he was horrible. Oh my God. It was an experience. It was really an experience. It was really an experience that I felt like because I was a woman and he didn't see a male figure,
Hmm.
took advantage of me. But it was like, all right, this is the first rodeo. It's going to happen this way. Just get through it. So my build out got finished in July and I started taking customers in August. From there, it was like, I was like, all right, I gotta strategize a little bit more because and I really want to do this full time. I don't want to work for nobody. So I was like, all right, God, you in control. You leading and following. Whatever you say, we're gonna do from here. And honestly, when it came back around in October, the beginning of October, it was like October 18th is gonna be your last day at your job. I just kept hearing that in my head. So I put the resignation letter in again. This time she accepted it.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, God, we getting somewhere. And I was like, but now is where the doubt comes in. That doubt started hitting me like, you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
Pandemic, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what's getting ready to happen with the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Exactly.
You don't know if they're getting ready to shut stuff down again. You sure you want to do this? So now I'm going against God. But I knew that I told myself, God, when you're ready for me, I'm going to move accordingly. Move how you want me to move. So now it's like, a way I'm getting ready to second guess what God got going on right here. So I'm like, I'm going to just move, put it in, and it got accepted. So I was like, all right, I'm supposed to do this. And honestly, from that day when I became a full-time entrepreneur, my life changed.
Okay. And even, you know what, even some of the hiccups, like you say, as far as getting rid of one lease, getting another one, and then not only that, whereas, when you went and check out that new spot and you saw the front, you said, let me check out the back, and then your spirit talked to you, this is it. And the difference is, like, once again, even like you say, dealing with the shady contractor. Whereas, like, see, without no test, there's no testimony. If it was easy, then everybody be doing
Everybody
it.
would.
Everybody be doing it. But the difference is it wasn't easy. But yet and still, when I'm looking at your struggle, your journey, a lot of people would have shut it down. A lot of people, like you say, even at the end, going out on faith. Here it is. I'm giving up sure money. Only thing I have to do is show up to work and I'm gonna
That's
get
it.
sure money. But I'm willing to make that sacrifice because of my kids, because of my promise, because of my faith, because of my dedication. That's what make you money, make it Mona. That's
Yep.
what I mean about when we first started talking. I said, yo, and I thought about everything. I'm listening to everything like that. That's what I mean by teach me how to hustle. That's what this is all about. Because once again, you went out there. Nobody gave you anything. Nobody drove back and forth from Charleston to Columbia when you didn't feel like. Nobody right now took care of the kids and make sure they was all right. Nobody did that. You put in your blood, sweat, and tears. And you know what? You're reaping the rewards. God is good.
He is all the time. The one thing that pushed me out there to put a deadline, like to put a date on the resignation letter was when I was going back and forth to school, my kids weren't able to do nothing. Like they couldn't do no activities. They couldn't do weekend activities. They couldn't do after school activities because the money that I was making from my job was guaranteed money. But in a sense, I was scared to put money into other things because in my mind I'm thinking this money gotta hold us over. You know what I mean? Like I'm only making enough to make it one
Survive.
month to survive.
Mhm.
So my kids, I was like, you can't do this, you can't do that, I can't afford it, or whatever the case may have been. My daughter wound up joining a dance team. And at first I was on edge, like, man, that's another bill I'm biting off. You know what I mean? Like my overhead is this, I can afford this, I know how far to go with it. But when she came out the first session and she was like, Mommy, I really want to dance. And at the time, my baby like 6 years old. So I'm like, you want to dance? She like, yeah. I'm like, all right, you going to dance. So she was my push because it was like, in order to try to get something different, I got to be willing to do something different. So
Mhm.
she motivated me to take the next step as far as like,
Oh.
you know what? My kids have sacrificed so much just waiting on me to get to this place. Now that I'm at this place, nothing comes before them. They come before everything. So I put my kids before the job, because the job, I wasn't going to be able to do certain things with her dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you want I'm gonna work my business. I can afford to do what you need me to do for dance, and we're gonna move forward. Now look, 3 years later, she on a competition team. It's costing me so much money for her to be to do competitive dance, but she reaping the benefits of just being humble while her mother was, going through a process.
Mm-hmm.
My kids stood by me the whole way. They never complained, not one time, because they understood like the sacrifices that I was making then was for a better today for us, not just me.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
always tell people, like, if you a mom, you a single mom, you out here and you sacrificing today, don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself feel bad, because tomorrow is a better tomorrow ahead of you. Sacrifice now while you have to. Your kids, you teach your kids, like, listen, I'm not doing this just for me, this for us. And better days are coming. Better days are coming. And when you teach your children that way, they become more humble and more appreciative. They become very, very appreciative to the little things. Like, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. But I really feel like if it wasn't for my daughter wanting to get into activities, like, she was rebellious. Like, mommy, what do you mean we can't do? Why we can't do like nothing? So I was like, she pushed me to get out of that shell to say, all right, I'm gonna try this, because I done worked hard enough. I gotta be able to do, some of the stuff that I promised my kids that they would be able to do one day. And
yeah,
she was the push I needed.
and that's the difference. Like, look where it came from. It came from within. It came from you. It
Yep.
came from. See, that's what I'm saying. It's that bloodline. And
Yeah.
not only that, and you know what? Like, to me, and that's what I want people to understand. Like, anybody that want to hear more about your story, anybody that want to follow you, and right now, because what I love is, like I told you beforehand, from my being on social media, but having conversation. What I love is the energy. What I
Mm.
love is the fight. And I just read an article that was in, I can't even remember, but it was up there that you had it up, and I read it. And some of the stuff that we talk about, but it was just like more like amazing, because once again, even as I'm listening to you from our heart to heart conversation and reading that on words, it's like, man, because once again, it's like, the struggle, the fight. You didn't quit, and right now is to see that you in the position that you are today is unbelievable. And once again, if anybody want to follow you, anybody want to support you, anybody, like, this is your platform. Right now is what we talked about or whatever. Right now, teach me how to hustle, teach me how to grind. Right now is you are the first segment of this, but we will be doing much, much more.
Hmm.
My platform is your platform.
Thank
Whether
you.
we go Facebook Live, I don't know how to do that, but whether we go Facebook Live, I know how to do IG Live, whatever we need to do to get it out there, long as it's clean, long as it's positive, long as it's spiritual, long as it's uplifting, encouraging, empowerment. That's it. That's just how do we get back? Opposed to being like the crab in a barrel, how do we pull each other up? Letting
Right.
everybody know it's life out there. Like, you just gave me your whole testimony and your struggle, but yet you still look at you now
Right.
because you didn't give up.
And that was just the testimony based on how I got to where I'm at. Like, I done came out the bottom of the bottom. So it's like, that's just a portion of
Mhm.
never letting the odds beat you down. Like,
Mhm.
it's a way out. It's a way out.
Mhm.
But you gotta believe that, and you gotta know that. Like, you really gotta trust God for everything like that you go through every day in life.
You know, and you know what? Like I say, I'm embarking on 25 years of freedom. I got it in July 28th, 1997. Whereas these people, when I got out, based upon my past, based upon my reputation, and everything like that, they gave me 45 to 90 days to survive before I go back to jail. And to
Wow.
me, that's why I try to tell people it's not what man says, what God say. When you know enough is enough is enough is enough. That's why, regardless what, I lost my mother when I was away, and I refused to let her teaching and upbringing continue to be in vain. So that's why when I got out, I knew I was going back. And whatever it takes, like I told them, if I got to go around collecting aluminum cans, I'm not going back to jail.
That's
They
right.
looking at me and they said they went downstairs and they laughed their behind off. But 18 months later, they impressed, like, wait a minute, hold up. He's beating the art. See, something, I love it when that gun to my head because
Yeah.
people count you out.
Yep.
You know, the difference is right now, I love that pressure because I hate to fail. I hate to lose. So whatever I need to do, I don't think I'm too good to do anything.
Nope.
If I got to go to work each and every day and wipe down the floor, spit on my hands and knees,
I'm gonna do. I'm
people
gonna.
look at me. I go to work dressed. I don't have to dress. I go there. And they see me clean up the bathroom, working and moving heavy stuff. I don't got to do it because I'm in management. But guess what? I let them know. Sometimes a good leader lead by example. And
Yeah.
what you're doing and what you're saying, look what you're talking about. Look how you got it. And
Yeah.
I love it. And that's why I say right now is to me, money, Megan, Mona.
Oh no, that's me.
You know. So right now is okay. You set up where in Columbia?
From Lexington, South Carolina.
Okay. You want to share your address?
So my address is 101 Summer Duck Trail.
Hold up. 101 Summer Duck.
Trail.
Oh, let me, you got some, one word or two word?
2 words. Summer Duck.
Okay. Three word.
Trail.
Well, okay. What's that? You say Lexington, right?
Lexington
No.
2907.
Yeah, I'm not, look, I'm a pecker. Okay. 29 what?
29072.
072. Okay. 101 Summer Duck Trail, Lexington, South Carolina. And it's
Sweet.
going to be the last cafe.
Sweet E.
Okay. Mm.
And I'm in the process of hiring. So if you are an esthetician or a cosmetologist looking for a new location or a new home and would like to be a part of a team, a growing team, a faith based team, I'm here and I'm welcoming um, everybody in that would like to be a part of a team.
But look what you're saying. Here it is. Like to me, you're going on a faith, provide an opportunity. And see, that's the beautiful thing about this. Because once again, like I told you, when me and you first start talking about this, and like I said, I'm very excited. And
Me
I know because once again, you feed off of others. And when you feel the sincerity, you feel the passion and the compassion, you
too.
feel like those that have a purpose to live can deal and cope with anything. And that's different. When you was knocked down, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got up. You because you see the picture of the babies. I promise them. They
My
didn't have to
fear,
come here.
any mom, like most, sometimes you don't really know what a person fears, but my fear was always for my children to see me down and out because I watched my mom be down and out. So it was just something that I wasn't willing to do. Like even if I'm down, I'm not willing to stay down. I'm getting up. I'm getting up every time. I do not care. I'm not staying down. I'm gonna keep getting up.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep finding ways to get up. Start over. I'll never have a problem with starting over. Because starting over creates a better way, a better opportunity. You know, you see things so much clearer that you didn't see in the beginning when you start over. You learn so much when you start over. So everything that you learned in the beginning, now you start over, you got more tools to use on the come up to start back over. So every time I start over, it's just like a level up for me.
You just took note. Where did I went wrong?
Every
What did
time.
I do wrong? What
Every
can
time.
I do right next time or
Yep.
whatever? So that's the difference. You look at that as opportunity. And see, people don't understand. Sometimes they look at obstacle as enemy. You
Mhm.
took each and every setback, obstacle, or when things happen, you took it. And
And I
look what you
built
did. You ran with it.
right. I built off of it.
And that's what it's all about. And like I told you right now, Wiz, listen, I appreciate
He frozen.